All right, Emery, what I've done here is I've broken the script down into the chunks that from the stuff you sent from the ticket. Okay, so for each page that you want this in, okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to take this style. So where it says style, I want you to copy all the way down to style right here. And then we have this script right after it. So we can take all that. Okay, so copy right down to this portion right here. Okay. Um, and you can put this in the head of the page. So let's just grab that code there, for example. We'll put it into the About page. Okay, so what we're going to do is open that up, scroll on down, and we want to put it right here in the miscellaneous scripting. Okay, pop that in there, and let's just make sure it shows up properly. Yep. And script, all script tags must have an attribute. You don't really have to, if you see the squiggly line, you don't really have to have an attribute, but all it really means is type text, right? You don't really have to have that. I wouldn't even bother with that. Okay, anyways, that's up in the head of the page there, and that's fine and dandy where it is. Okay, style, same thing, floating button, just making sure it all looks good. Okay, now the rest of it, div tags and whatnot, all this needs to go into the actual page itself. And this here looks like it's a button. Okay, so this makes up the iframe, or the large portion of it, and this makes up the smaller portion of it. But let's just take all this code here where it says div id fc fade in. Okay, let's just copy this down into the wherever you want it to show up in your page. Typically it's going to be the body section, which is going to be somewhere around here, body 1. See the box 4? Then we have this all these box 4 styles. Then usually we have an H3 tag, maybe a P tag, and an H4 tag. Well, let's just for fun, let's get rid of this P tag right here. There's a whole bunch of P tags. Let's just put the code right in here, like so. I'm just going to save it and see what it looks like. See if it shows up in my end or not. Okay, so there's the button right there. That's where it shows up. Support us, and then it's going to do a pop-up like that. Okay, you can do your thing. So that's pretty much wherever you want the button to show up. I'm going to say copy this code right here wherever you want the button to show up, and it's going to show up in line. So probably you want it at the bottom of all your content, right? That's typically where people will put that sort of stuff, right? So let's go down and find the end of we find the box 4. There's all these divs in a row like so, and then usually a P tag or something up above. Well, let's put this above the P tag and below the closing table. Okay, and you have to do this in code view, obviously. So we'll save it like that, and I'm also going to copy this P tag here. I'm going to copy that below the table as well to give a little bit more padding, and watch what happens here. We'll just preview the page. We're going to scroll on down. Yeah, I'm playing it locally. Yes, I know. Oh, there, support us. Now we click the button, and boom, there it is. So that you could put on like so. Now, let's say we want to do this for every page in the site. Let's see if we can find a way to help it do that instead. That's how to put it in one page. Let's take this code that we have here that I put into the miscellaneous scripting. Let's take all that code, and what I'm going to do then is just pull it out of the page itself. I'm going to go into my templates. I'm going to try to go on my template. Oh, it's just loading because it's on a different server here for a second. Okay, so there's a primary. So we're going to open up the primary and the secondary.dwt. Now we can add this code right to the dynamic template, save it, and it'll be applied automatically to all your pages. Okay, so we just have to find the right place to put it. So here's our and it's very important we always put it after all these other scripts here, just in case you're wondering. So I'm just looking for a good place. Okay, so right here, Nevo slider, right above the closing head tag, right above this, we could actually put all that script right there in our primary and secondary pages. So right above the closing head tag, and make sure you don't erase it. I've actually seen that done a few times. People select this by mistake and paste code, but paste it right above there. Okay, so now we've pasted it into what's called a non-editable region of the template page, which means that it's going to automatically be saved and applied to every page in our site. So we save the DWT, and of course I've got too many things running here. Okay, we've recovered 4 files. Yep, we want to update those, and boom. Okay. Now it's adding that code to the head of all pages that use the primary layout. Okay, now the rest of the code here, let me just grab that code there and I'll pull it out of the page here. I was going to put it back here. Okay, now down in your primary and your secondary, you scroll on down and you'll find the same thing as the other pages. There's a box for, there's a body 1 region, a box for some dummy content. We're going to scroll past all that. See the box for here? Then there's a end editable. Right after the end editable and before that closing div tag for the center column, what we can do is paste the rest of the code. Okay, I'll take this code here and we'll paste it right here. What I'm going to also suggest you do is, no, that should be fine. All right, and then what we can do is, we don't actually need the paragraph tags, I don't think, so we can just save the page now. And what this will do is add that button to the bottom of every single page using the primary layout, and then when you do it to the secondary layout, same thing. Right, so I'm just going to hit a refresh here, and there it is right there. Okay, so we see here that the support us button is there, but it's overlapping the bottom of the footer. So now we just make a quick modification. We take this P tag here, and we pop it right above the center column div and right below the support us div, right in here in that space there and there. And then we save it, and we keep fine-tuning it until we get it just the way we want it. And then I just refresh, and there we go. That to me looks perfect. So now you would have this button at the bottom of every page in your site. Okay, and you can also do it to the top of the page here as well if you want it to go up top. Okay, same idea. We would take the all this code right here and we go find the center column. Right, so there's the body 1, right, and you see the right under the div ID of center 1 column, we would put all the code, and above, so basically between the center 1 column and above the body 1, begin editable body 1, we could paste all that in, and then it would go to the top of the page. So play around with that and see what works. Oh, and make a backup or a copy of your website first before you start doing this. Just a suggestion in case, that way you can test it out on a copy of your site first, and then you can go ahead and do it on the real one, sort of